Security is on high alert in New York City as it prepares for former President Donald Trump's arrival. ABC's Morgan Norwood with how the New York City Police Department is bracing for possible protests.
This afternoon, former President Donald Trump expected to arrive in New York City ahead of that historic arraignment on criminal charges. Sources tell ABC News the former president faces about 24 charges, including felonies. A grand jury voted to indict him after the previous and current Manhattan District Attorney's offices investigated how Trump accounted for $130,000 in hush money payments to porn actress Stormy Daniels. Trump is expected to head to New York State Supreme Court from his Fifth Avenue apartment. His movements coordinated by the Secret Service and NYPD. We're told Trump will not be handcuffed, and to reduce foot traffic in the area, there will be no other court cases on the 15th floor where Trump will be arraigned. His attorney says the former president plans to plead not guilty.
He's gearing up for a battle. This is something that obviously we believe is a political persecution, and he's someone who's going to be ready for this fight. We're ready for this fight, and I look forward to moving this thing along as quickly as possible to exonerate him.
Trump denies any wrongdoing. After blasting DA Alvin Bragg, Trump now turning his focus to the presiding judge, Juan Merchan. Merchan also oversaw the Manhattan DA's case last year against the Trump Organization, where a jury found the company guilty of tax fraud. Trump claims Merchan hates him and railroaded the company's chief financial officer into pleading guilty. Trump's scathing comments about the trial judge and District Attorney Bragg led to this warning from the former Manhattan DA who started the hush money investigation.
I was disturbed to hear the former president speak in the way he spoke about the District Attorney Bragg and even the trial court. I would be mindful of not committing some other criminal offense like obstruction of governmental administration, which is interfering with or by threat or otherwise the operation of government.
As Donald Trump prepares for his arraignment in New York, the Justice Department reportedly pushing ahead with an obstruction of justice case against the former president related to his alleged mishandling of classified documents. Now, Trump's hostile rhetoric about the judge, the prosecutor, and even the case itself has police here in the city on high alert. Come tomorrow, this entire area will be blocked off with more than 30,000 officers across the city bracing for potential protest. Morgan Norwood, ABC News, New York.
The saying that war is hell may be a century or more old, but today in Ukraine it is still holding true. Thousands of Ukrainians maimed and disfigured from Russian bombings, now seeking help from doctors. We do have a word of warning to our audience that the images in this story may be a bit hard to watch. Face the Future mission is a medical team of professionals who work to make scarred and injured soldiers and civilians whole again. Injuries from bomb blasts are often devastating, and although doctors try to reconstruct and repair the bone and skin, sometimes they can't. Doctors say in this program, the inner scars need help too.
And it's a psychological help, not just for the patient, but also for their family.
The medical team includes highly specialized plastic surgeons, anesthesiologists, and nurses, and they are from the U.S. and Canada.
4 major gun reform bills could soon be law in Colorado. The state's House of Representatives worked over the weekend to advance the legislation.
But there's one notable omission. Brandon Richard tells us how the words ban on assault weapons is not in these gun control bills.
The largest package of gun reform bills in a decade may soon be headed to the governor's desk. This week, lawmakers could take final votes on amendments to the bills, which passed both chambers after tense debate. The bills remove legal protections from gun makers, expand the state's red flag law, require a 3-day waiting period, and raise the minimum age to buy a gun to 21. Republican lawmakers criticized Democrats for limiting debate and accused them of attacking the Second Amendment.
It isn't defending guns, it's defending the ability to protect yourself, protect your family, and protect your country. When you pass legislation, it has farther-reaching consequences than they see.
House Democratic leaders celebrated the passage of the bills.
With 40 days left in the session, it was a significant milestone to get through the bills that we did.
But the package of bills they passed does not include a bill banning so-called assault weapons. That bill, which is sponsored by Representative Elizabeth Epps and Senator Rhonda Fields, has yet to be heard in committee. A hearing was scheduled in the House Judiciary Committee last Wednesday, but was suddenly called off. House Speaker Julie McCluskey told me they wanted to focus on abortion bills instead.
It was a good decision to delay.
While many progressives have called for a ban on certain guns, it's unclear whether Colorado's Democratic leaders are willing to go there. The governor has repeatedly declined to endorse the bill when pressed by reporters, and neither Speaker McCluskey nor House Majority Leader Monica Duran would say if they supported the bill when I asked them about it.
I haven't read the bill, so I'd like to really kind of hear the bill and make sure it does what it's supposed to do, so I don't have a position yet.
That was Brandon Richard reporting. The assault weapons ban defines the guns by certain features and characteristics. And as of Sunday afternoon, the House Judiciary Committee had not yet rescheduled the hearing on the bill.
General Motors making some changes to their vehicles. They have decided to phase out widely used Apple CarPlay and Android audio systems for future electric vehicles. The current system allows users to mirror their smartphone screens on their dashboards, but the car maker is switching to a built-in infotainment center made by Google. We're going to see the first change when GM reveals their 2024 Chevrolet Blazer later on this year. Drivers are going to be able to access Google Maps and Google Assistant at no extra charge for 8 years.
And I look outside with live cam, 84 degrees. Well, it's shaping out to be a nice day, but it's still very humid. I'm trying to stay very positive.
Trying to stay optimistic over there, Tiffany. I appreciate that. I respect that. Yes, it is going to be very summer-like as we head into this afternoon. We do have some peaks of sunshine, so it looks really nice out there. Yes, it is going to be hot, though, especially by late afternoon as we see those temperatures climb into the 90s here in San Antonio. You can see those temperatures right now over at airfields here across Bexar County, upper 70s, low 80s, 81 over at SA International, 78 at Stinson, 83 at Kelly, and 81 over at Randolph there on the east side of the county. We've got the moisture in place. That's why it just feels so incredibly humid out there right now. And that humidity isn't going anywhere, at least for the next 36 hours. So we're going to hold on to those elevated dew points throughout the remainder of this Monday and into Tuesday before we see our next front move through. Now, temperature-wise, yes, we will top off in the low to mid 90s out there in and around the San Antonio area later on today. Still summer-like through tomorrow, but then here comes that next cold front that arrives early Wednesday. That will make for a cooler end to the week and also spark those better rain chances. We'll get you a look at the latest drought monitor and what we're expecting with those rain chances and how it could help out just a little bit coming up in a few, guys.
Thank you, Mia. Fox News' defamation case now headed to trial after all. What a Delaware judge says pushed them to make the decision and how top executives will be taking the stand.
Some states, including Texas, will start to change Medicaid coverage. Why there's concern that the quick changes could have negative effects.
Millions of Americans, including tens of thousands of Texans, are expected to lose their Medicaid coverage coming up in the next few months. The government's COVID-era Medicare coverage ended in April, forcing Texans to reapply. Congress barred states from shrinking their Medicaid rolls when the pandemic started, but those restrictions ended last week, and some states will reportedly move quickly to end benefits for people they determined to be ineligible now. Some of those states include Arizona, Idaho, South Dakota, and Texas. Texans must reapply for the income-based benefit. Other states are taking the opportunity to expand their coverage. Some worry that in the rush to reapply, mistakes will be made, and some who qualify will lose their coverage.
A Delaware judge says Dominion Voting Systems' historic defamation case against Fox News will head to a jury trial this month. The network's highest-ranking executives and hosts could be called to testify about the 2020 election claims they promoted on air. Both sides asked for a pretrial ruling. However, a judge denied that because of the amount of evidence in the case, as well as a series of courtroom clashes. The jury does not have to decide whether Fox's claims were true or false. They will have to decide whether the network defamed Dominion by making false claims that the company rigged the presidential election.
Going to take another look outside with live cam. The sun is out. We are baking.
Yes, especially now that we are starting to see some of that cloud cover break up. Temperatures are really going to soar as we head into this afternoon. And it is humid, so it's going to be an above average start temperature-wise from start to finish. We're about 13 degrees above the average for this time of year when it comes to our morning low. And as of the temperatures already this lunchtime hour, we are well above average and highs are headed for the 90s. So another full look at that forecast and the changes headed our way coming up after the break.
The deadly path of storms last week did not stop for the weekend. At least 32 people were killed as tornadoes left nothing in their wake in the South and in the Midwest. Parts of Arkansas and Tennessee have now been declared disasters by President Biden. CNN's Isabel Rosales on how we here in Texas could actually be next.
No matter what challenges we face, nothing is going to destroy us. Nothing is going to bring us down. If anything, we will come back better and stronger.
Devastation and destruction as cleanup gets underway for hard-hit southern communities ripped apart by fierce and powerful storms and tornadoes.
We have a lot of families that are completely devastated, have no home at all to go to, no belongings survived. So we will have to help these families.
In Arkansas, President Joe Biden has ordered federal aid to help fund state and local recovery efforts. The focus now shifts to rebuild Little Rock after an EF3 tornado tore through the city. Meanwhile, neighboring state Tennessee is also reeling from the aftermath of back-to-back storms. The death toll rising over the weekend after 2 children and an adult died after trees fell onto their home.
The loss of life is the hardest to deal with. We can't rebuild that. Our citizens, their homes, their businesses, the schools, the places they play, their electricity, their way of life has been affected.
Now, a new weather threat is on the rise Sunday for the South. Nearly 13 million people in North Texas, including the Dallas-Fort Worth area, are bracing for an enhanced or level 3 of 5 risk for severe weather. I'm Isabel Rosales reporting.
Scary stuff.
Incredible images there. And there's a lot of developing here in the weather locally as well.
And we do need the rain. We don't need all the severe stuff.
Right.
But the ground is getting a little crunchy at this point.
Yes, very much so, and especially considering that it's only going to get hotter from here, we definitely need the rain. Now, as Ursula mentioned, we don't want any of the severe stuff that comes along with it, but the good news is, at least for us here in South Central Texas, those actual rain chances to find good soaking rain are still in the forecast, especially by Thursday and Friday. Now, today we've got a 10% chance to find maybe a very isolated stray shower or pop-up storm develop later this afternoon and into the evening. Don't have a lot of high confidence in that. Wednesday, we've got a 20% potential to find a few isolated showers to a stray storm move in, especially in the morning as we see that next cold front push through South Central Texas. And then after that, that weather pattern does look a little bit more favorable for some better and decent rain chances into the second half of the work week. So let's go ahead and time that out. We've got a low pressure system that's already sparking some snow and rain across the Pacific Northwest. You can see temperatures a lot colder this Monday up that way compared to where we are here in San Antonio. 36 in Salt Lake City, currently 24 in Casper, Wyoming. Not going to get anywhere near that cold here in the Lone Star State. But what we are expecting to find, notice by 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, that low pressure system starts scooting eastward, sparking some more snow across the higher elevations of the Rockies. It is going to drop that next cold front into our area by wake up time Wednesday morning. Could find a few lingering showers out there for the Wednesday morning commute. And then as that front stalls just off to our south, closer to the Gulf coastline, we're actually going to see some moisture and energy override that boundary, which means those better rain chances then return into Thursday, even into Friday. Coverage is looking pretty good there as well. So you might want to plan on keeping the rain gear handy, as well as your KSAT Weather Authority app just ahead of the weekend. And into Saturday, it's possible that we do find a few lingering showers there just ahead of the Easter holiday as well. Now, we definitely will appreciate anything that we can kind of muster up out there with these rain chances, because this is the latest drought monitor update that was released last Thursday, and you can see the entirety of our area under some sort of classification of drought, and especially here in Bexar County, stretching up to New Braunfels, Bernie, Bandera, even Kerrville. We are in that exceptional drought, so definitely fingers crossed for those rain chances later on this week. With that rain, cold air, and added cloud cover, you can see temperature outlook looking a lot different by Thursday and Friday compared to what we are expected to find out there today and tomorrow. 81 degrees this lunchtime hour. It's 86 in Pleasanton, 87 in Cotulla, Carrizo Springs checking in at 90 degrees. So as we head into this afternoon, continue to see some peaks of sunshine. Those temperatures do look to climb into the low to mid 90s here in town. Again, upper 90s, closing in on the triple digits expected across our southwestern counties. Same as we head into our Tuesday. And then, yes, we'll monitor for those rain chances and cooler temperatures by Thursday and Friday, guys.
Thank you, Mia. If you're a lover of wine, you'll want to stick around. A new study takes a look at what drinking even a little bit of alcohol can do to your overall health.
Dungeons and Dragons is a movie now, and it took down a formidable opponent at the box office this weekend. Is there potential for a new movie franchise here? We're going to find out after the break.
Welcome back. Looks like John Wick finally lost a fight against a dragon. Multiple dragons, in fact. The new Dungeons and Dragons movie toppled John Wick 4 this weekend by $10 million.
There is a star-studded cast in this one, people like Chris Pine and Michelle Rodriguez. It's no wonder the popular role-playing games movie version is enchanting audiences today. Rick Damigella with CNN on how the game involved 20-sided dice and imagination is now the biggest movie in theaters this week.
We're thieves, but we help the wrong person steal the wrong thing and unleash the greatest evil the world has ever known.
How many of your tabletop role-playing game sessions started out that way? Chris Pine and Michelle Rodriguez gather a party of adventurers to undo the evil in Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves.
The wonderful thing about Dungeons and Dragons, not having known anything about it or role-playing games at all, is that essentially what it is, it's a game for actors. All you're doing is playing pretend like you would in an improv class. You're given a certain set of circumstances, obstacles, powers, backstory, and then someone says go and, start playing.
I don't mind that.
Rodriguez went beyond play, performing roughly half of her own stunts.
Anytime you see a guy being lifted over the head and swung across the room, that's my stunt double. But yeah, I learned all the choreography so I could match her.
The movie is based on a small portion of the massive lore of the nearly 50-year-old role-playing game.
We started with the characters. It really had to be about relatable people that you would invest in and care about their journey. And then we built out. We were faced with these very unique Dungeons and Dragons-y challenges in how they're going to be able to pull off this heist in a way that is cinematically appealing, but also very true to the mechanics of the game.
This one's dangerous. But whatever happens, we'll be ready.
Rolling for initiative in Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
Wine people, listen up. You might be surprised to hear this or not, but a new study finds that drinking a moderate amount of alcohol a day does not protect you against heart disease or lead to a longer life. Published in the JAMA Network Open, the study researched the health and drinking habits of nearly 5 million people. They found that even drinking low levels of alcohol actually increases your risk of death. That's equal to 1 ounce a day for women and about 1.5 ounces per day for men. It's one of the largest studies to debunk the myth of alcohol.
It's prom season. That's right.
And SA Live has the perfect spot for those beautiful dresses. They also specialize in gorgeous quinceañera gowns.
Plus some high-flying fun at a local gym. Mike and Jen trying the silks.
Okay, time to do a little exercise, but this is like way over the top exercise, right, Jen?
Yes, they're combining flight and fitness here at the Arium. There's 15 different classes that you can try for all different ages. And yes, we are getting a sample here. These guys are very impressive. And also there's a deal if you want to try a trial class. We're going to share all that and more.
All right, back to those yummy cupcakes. Take a look here. Southern Sweet Artistry. These two young ladies, Yvonne and Genesis, mother and daughter. Who's the better decorator?
She is.
Wow, really? Is she a good student?
Yes.
She's very good. Oh,
yes.
Well, they've got that all worked out. We're going to tell you how to, some of the decorating tips for some of these beautiful cupcakes and cookies. That and a whole lot more coming up on SA Live, so stick around.